The consistency for me showing up in recording this episode at 12 o'clock when it's 30 degrees outside and everyone else is eating freezes and having fun. And I'm in here recording this because I promised myself that I would do this. Hey, it's Renee. Welcome to the Into the Wild Show, the podcast for women who want to build incredible mental strength to level up their business and lifestyle. I'm Renee Warren, the founder of We Wild Women, author, speaker, award-winning entrepreneur, and your host. Together, we will make you unapologetic about shining your light, growing your business, and turning you into a wildly confident and successful leader. This is for you, the visionary, the go-getter, the entrepreneur, and for those that need a real kick in the butt to get going and to dream bigger. Each week, I bring in leading experts and entrepreneurs to help you take leaps in the right direction, because I know the best advice comes from someone who has successfully done it before. So, are you ready to level up? Welcome to Into the Wild. Hey, you wild women, coming at you from the East Coast of Canada. Now, I'm probably sounding a little bit different because I am not at my studio. I only have wired little headphones plugged into my laptop, trying to steal the internet off our neighbor here to us at a cottage. And I realize this is imperfect. And coincidentally, the topic for this podcast is about how to say yes to the things that scare you. This morning, I went through all of these versions of why I shouldn't do this recording. But I've promised myself that I'm going to be doing 2 episodes a week, and I had not recorded this week's episode. So I said, you know what? I can just skip it. No one's going to notice. And maybe no one will, but I cheap out on myself if I don't record this episode. And then I thought, well, the kids are here. The sound's going to be off. All these things, like we're rushing to get between like visiting friends and family. I said, no, Renee, find 20 minutes. Jot down some notes. You're going to record this episode because you promised yourself. I'm doing this for myself. And think about all those times in your life when you don't do something. Actually, you don't do something because it's for yourself, but you will do something for other people. So I said this time, listen, I'm doing this for myself. And I think about where that shows up in life, in business, where that shows up in taking those chances. And today I really wanted to talk about how to say yes to the things that scare you, because what I know about my life, the things I've done in business, is all the biggest growth opportunities, my fondest memories came from moments of which I almost backed out of the opportunity because I was too scared. I was too scared to do a CrossFit competition and I came third. I was too scared to start a podcast because I thought of all the judgment I would get. And I'm in the top 1.5% in the world, my podcast. I was too afraid to say yes to marrying the love of my life, my husband, because I was afraid of commitment. I was afraid that I wasn't allowed or couldn't change my mind. And I thought, gosh, all those things that I said yes to in the face of fear ended up being the most beautiful things. So really quickly, today, I want to talk to you about these things. And I have a handful of ideas for you, 7 to be exact, and some will overlap and some will be repetitive. But I really just wanted to get these out because if there's anything in here, a little nugget that you can take away to help you say yes to facing your fears, do it. So recently, actually, I was offered an opportunity to work with a pretty cool brand to help a very notable influencer, of which I can't name yet, but a huge TikToker on Instagram as well, help, I guess, work with her through this campaign, this PR campaign, and where I would be working with her directly. And even just stumbling over my own words right now was because I'm almost fearful to tell you this, but there's parts of it was like, I don't need to work with this client. I have other projects I'm working on with my Authority Booster Intensive that is very lucrative. And so I kept coming up with all these excuses as to why I shouldn't do this. But when I really asked myself the big question, am I afraid? The answer was yeah. I was only saying no because I was afraid. I wasn't saying no because I can't do the work. I wasn't saying no because we don't have our systems in place. But the fact that I said yes, I took the sales call, and then I was put in a list or a bucket of which I was vetted against other PR people, and they said yes to me. So now I realized, okay, now I have to do the work. There's no turning back now. What a compliment huge compliment, but also what a great feeling it is to be wanted. And knowing that, okay, the hard work actually begins now, but we're committed. And it's scary, but let me tell you, I am so excited. I'm honored. And I've kind of shared whispers of this with some of my friends, and they're super proud of me. And I'm proud of myself too. So I faced my fear. Okay, so the number one thing for me in facing your fear is when something scares you, recognize that there's an opportunity for growth. So that could be identifying the little things that scare you, but understanding on the other side of this is a better version of you. But you also have to take into consideration that there are healthy challenges and there are things that could be a little bit reckless. In my planner, the morning practice planner, at the very beginning of it, I teach you how to make a decision based on your head, heart, and gut approach to decision making. And I'm going to say this a little bit later on, but talking about intuition, it's the strongest center of decision making in your body because your gut actually is right most of the time. So when you're facing fear, like say being offered to work with a very notable influencer and the opportunity is for you and it presents itself, and you say no because you're scared, where's that fear coming from? Is it your head overthinking everything? Is it your heart or is it your gut, right? For me, in this instance of being asked to work with this woman, it was my head. I was like, oh my gosh, what is she going to think about me? Do I have to work with her directly? This is very intimidating. Do I even have the people and the systems in place to do it? Meanwhile, my gut was saying, Renee, look at the opportunities. What a compliment that they chose you. Think when you crush this, how many other doors this will open. So my intuition was calling it in, but my head was calling it out. And I realized, oh my gosh, there is so much opportunity for growth here. Immediately, I took a contract. So one of my contracts that I would typically put together for this instance, it's a couple years old. So I needed to dust it off and I sent it to my lawyer and I was like, hey, can you please review this? I don't always do that. But in this instance, I'm like, I don't want you just to review it, but like really look at where there's holes. So I knew the opportunity for growth was also, how can I make my legal system better? And then how can I make my accounting system better? So this opportunity was like, if I'm representing this person who is very notable, then I need to be professional, not just look it, but I need to be professional. I had the systems in place and now I kind of toned up the dial to making them a lot better. So the next thing is to shift your perspective. Like I said, this is the opportunity to embrace your fear as a catalyst for personal development. I say personal development isn't a weekend course, it's a lifelong journey. You always need to be growing and learning and iterating and doing things smarter and better and surrounding yourself with different people and different mindsets and beliefs in order to get you from A to B to Z, right? This is also an opportunity for you to see your fear as an indicator of passion and desire. And what I mean by that is you follow that passion, you follow that desire, fear is going to come at you all the time. Different instances, different opportunities, different experiences, different conversations. So it's an indicator of your passion and desire. If you're fearful of doing something, you're either thinking to yourself, wow, I'm afraid that I'm going to succeed or fail, right? Think about it. Maybe you want to jump out of a plane and go skydiving. That is really scary, super scary. But what really scares you? Well, your parachute isn't going to open. That's an option. That could possibly happen. So that's probably not a good outcome. But the reality is, if you look at the data, that's the chance of that happening is very small. So we always fear the thing that could hurt us the most, absolutely. But in most likelihood, the opportunity is greater than the worst case scenario. The other thing too, in shifting your perspective, is learning from past experiences to overcome fear. I do this all the time, especially as a parent, right? It's like first new opportunity or experience for a child scares you. They're going to school for the first time. Oh no, now all of a sudden you're not going to be around your kid for the day. No one knows their needs and their wants and their desires. Well, the reality is you're sending your kid to a daycare or a school of which most people there have had at least a handful of years of experience successfully educating and raising other kids, right? So think about those fears and learning from past experience. The next time maybe your second or third child goes to daycare or school for the first time, you're probably less fearful because the first time was fine. So the third thing is to cultivate self-confidence. That is acknowledging your strengths and your capabilities in this. So going back to that influencer, my strength in all of this, I knew was being organized. And if I wasn't, to create a way to be more organized. Because I don't want there to be roadblocks and hangups and simple things like a reschedule in the contract or the fact that I can't start for 3 weeks, all these things. So I needed to understand where I was capable of making this a really good experience for everybody that was involved. Okay, you wild thing, you can throw out that scruffy media pitch now. No more poring over bland pitches, wasting countless hours trying to piece your story together, wondering where to send it and who will even care. You know that landing media coverage is the number one way to claim your seat at the table, and you're savvy enough to know it's time to bring in an expert. That's why we've created a system to take the guessing game of PR off your plate. One day, one investment, all the value. Get your PR strategy in hand sooner with our VIP days. It's strategy over breakfast and PR ready by dinner. Picture this: a world-class PR strategy created for your business by an award-winning publicist with 12 plus years of industry experience, and not just an upgraded version of a dull media kit, but a custom plan that's strategically crafted to capture the attention of journalists and influencers. No fill-in-the-blank, bare-bone type templates. Just a detailed roadmap to move your brand forward without the agency price. And this isn't a course. Here's exactly what you'll walk away with. All of this custom media kit, pitch angles for podcast, print, and TV, curated podcast list of over 50 vetted shows, one press release, confidence to pitch at your own pace, custom training videos to show you the way, plus a month of follow-up support with me. If you want in to this amazing VIP day, simply go to wewildwomen.com/VIP day to either fill in the application if you're ready to do it or schedule a call if you want more. That's wewildwomen.com/VIP day. Next is, setting realistic expectations and being kind to yourself. How can you be kind to yourself? In that moment, I was like, wow, they chose me. That is amazing. They chose me. So being kind to myself, saying, I've come this far. I've run agencies. I've employed people. I've done great work for clients. Of course, they want to choose me. Now I need to replicate that experience for them. And then obviously the power of positive affirmations and visualization. Yes, I can do this. I write in my morning practice planner and I travel with my 5-minute journal because it's a little bit smaller. And I'll write, I am strong, I am confident. Some days it's I'm strong and consistent. And I might write the same thing over and over and over again to the point where I believe it. I don't even have to think about what I'm writing. The consistency for me showing up in recording this episode at 12 o'clock when it's 30 degrees outside and everyone else is eating freezes and having fun. And I'm in here recording this because I promised myself that I would do this. The fourth thing is prepare yourself for action. Do the research and gather the information. Seek advice from people that you admire, mentors, advisors. Always seek advice. I have different women in my life that have the best advice for certain facets of my life, like parenting or marriage or business or HR. And they're my go-to people because I'm their go-to people for certain things too. So when something comes up, I can send them a quick message and be like, hey, Jackie, I need your help on this and this and this. And they'll point me in the right direction so that I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to hire, right? In the past, and I've said this on the show before, that I was once sued for wrongful dismissal. And then I feared hiring people because, oh gosh, they're going to sue me again. And that could happen. But guess what? Now I know what to expect. Now I know what I need to do, first of all, to avoid that happening. But then if it did happen, all the steps that are in place in order to solve the issue, right? And then the last one of preparing yourself for action is practicing self-care to maintain that emotional balance. For me, it's going to CrossFit. For me, it's having barefoot, put my toes in the sand, put my toes on grass, hugging a tree. It's definitely not yoga for me. Maybe it's playing board games with my kids. You need to offset the go of work and the go of parenting with something that is for you, that fills you up, whatever that is. And I can't talk about self-care enough because if you're topping yourself up emotionally and physically, you can do so much for other people. Number 5 is take the leap. So there is an importance in taking the first step. When you take that first step, you're committed, right? If you say yes to an opportunity, fully embody that yes, fully embody that commitment. Don't be half in. Don't be like, you know what? It's okay. I can say no later. Well, it's great to have that opportunity to back out. If you're committing to something, commit to it. And then you're going all in. So if you're going all in on that thing and you're committed, you're like, yep. Then all the other opportunities that seem to show up, you can easily say no to, even if they seem better. In that moment, you've committed to that thing. An example, today, we're all going on our boat in the afternoon. My nephew, my boys, my mom and dad, my uncle, and I'm fully committed. There was parts of it, I was like, oh, I don't know the boat, blah, blah, blah. And there's other things that we could do. And I said, I'm fully committed to going on the boat. What do I need to do? Pack the boys their snacks, their swim stuff, their towels, their beach toys, because we are going and nothing's going to stop me. So I'm taking the leap. You have to push through that discomfort and doubt in those moments where you're just like, oh my God. Right. So I think about going back to the example of hiring somebody. How am I doubting myself on this? This is very uncomfortable for me because I don't want the thing that happened 7 years ago to happen again. Even just saying that out loud, I'm like, why would I even let that bug me still? But it doesn't really. Now it's a story. Now it's a moment of where I can share and educate other people on these moments of doubt, right? Pushing through that discomfort. Embracing the failure is part of the learning process. We all know this. Sometimes our best lessons in life come from where we didn't succeed. How can I do better? How can I be faster? How can I be more efficient? How can I make more money? How can I make better hiring decisions? Just take the leap. Number 6 is learn and grow from those experiences. Obviously, reflecting back, celebrating where you are today, building resilience for future challenges. All of this kind of repetitive. The point being is learning and growing from those experiences. And it's funny, it just kind of got this immediate download as I'm looking around this room or in this cottage. I'm like, it's kind of echoey in here. And I know that my audience is used to me being on a mic in a studio. So their experience can be different. But my lesson in this is, where did I fail to be organized to not pre-record these solo episodes before going on vacation? Right? And I'm totally open about that. I failed to do that. Part of it was we just came back from 3 weeks in Croatia. We had a couple weeks buffer and now we're gone again. No one else but me. I own that. And I respect that of myself, that I failed to do the work before leaving. So now I have to stand in this cottage with earwigs and spiders and just enjoy this moment. I'm breathing this in, and what a privilege it is for me to be here, to be able to do this. Number 7, and the last one, is encouraging others to embrace fear. Let me tell you, when you get through an experience and you talk about it and you learn something from it, you almost have a sense of a duty, an obligation to help others through that same issue when it comes up. If you can inspire and support friends and family to go and face something that scares them, like maybe it is bungee jumping, or maybe it is the fear of hiring again because somebody was sued before, you can help talk them through it. It also gives you more confidence. You need to create a culture of fear and acceptance and growth within your organization. You want to encourage your team, your people, your friends, your family to fail early, fail often, fail forward. Because when they face those fears and they put all of their blood, sweat, and a tear into conquering that fear, into doing the thing to get them through that next level, you'll watch them grow as individuals. And if you can be there to support them, they're going to be there to support you too, right? So be that beacon. Show them that, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of public speaking, but I'm going to do this thing, speaker slam or whatever it is. I'm going to get up on stage and tell my story. And you will inevitably inspire other people to do the same. So there's a ripple effect of embracing your fear on personal and collective levels, as I just alluded to, is that once you face that fear, you do the thing that scares you, you start the business, you hire the client or you fire the client, you give somebody a promotion, you fire somebody, whatever it is that scares you in your business and your personal life today. Really try to understand, why is it scaring you? How can you get through this? Is it worth my energy or not? Should I be asking for help or not? Should I just stop thinking about this thing altogether because I'm overthinking about it? Maybe. Because, in life, there's really only 2 fears, the fears of loud noises and the fear of falling. Everything else is a story we tell ourselves in experiences that we lived or things that we've heard or seen that make us scared. And I think it's okay to be scared. I think it's a beautiful thing to have that fear and to be scared. But the reality is you can't let it stop you. We always make these excuses. I can't climb that ladder. I'm too afraid of heights. Well, how about you start on a step stool? How about you take 2 steps up, which is a little bit uncomfortable, and start working your way up? Oh, I can't speak on that stage because I'm afraid of public speaking. Well, how about you teach in somebody else's mastermind? Or how about you host a mini conference where the maximum attendees is 10? The more you start doing it, the higher you start getting on that ladder, the higher you'll go, because you'll build that confidence, because you'll get on that second rung and be like, you know what? it's actually not so bad up here. Why was I so afraid of doing this? Then you'll go up a level. Now you're up there and it's like, oh, it's a little bit higher. The ground's a little bit smaller from up here, but it ain't so bad. And when it comes to speaking, you're going to get on bigger stages. When it comes to hiring, if you do everything right, you'll hire more. When it comes to working out or doing CrossFit competitions, you'll just start doing them more and better with more confidence. And yes, you will fail. It happens. It is inevitable. So all I want to say is to how to encourage you to say yes to the things that scare you, understanding that fear is inevitable. It's a part of the whole process. But look at those past experiences. Look to mentors and advisors. Shift your perspective. Build that self-confidence. Start small with those baby steps. And I promise you, whatever fear that you're facing today in your business and your personal life, you will get through. And then the next time you face it, it'll be a heck of a lot easier. So that's it for now. But before I go, I do have one little favor to ask you, is if you could please jump in and leave me a 5-star review and some words of wisdom, a little nugget of something that I taught you. That would be so appreciative, because I'm on this mission to grow this podcast, to get more incredible guests and have more incredible conversations in front of the women that need to hear this. So hopefully you do that. If you want to just take a screenshot, you can DM me on Instagram, Renee_Warren, and I'll give you a little shout out. But until next time, ladies, peace out. So there you have it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Into the Wild. To make this girl happy and to help reach other women who are dreaming of starting their business, please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and everywhere you listen in. Also, if you want to find me in the wild, check me out on Instagram at Renee_Warren. That's RENEE_WARREN. And leaving you with one of my favorite tips of all time: the best advice you could ever receive is from someone who has successfully done it before you. Until next time, ladies, peace out.